Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So on the table, you see two awesome handguns. You see the M&P 2.0 in all FDE in the 4.25 inch, and you see the Glock 19X in the whatever you want to call it, baby poop color, coyote tan, bronzy. I don't even know what color it is, to be honest with you. I mean, both of these handguns are just simply, in my opinion, just really fantastic. Now, I don't have any experience shooting this yet, but if it shoots like any other Glock 17/19, then I think it is going to be a really fun day at the range. Now, the M&P 2.0, several hundred rounds through this gun, and it is just fantastic. You guys know that I absolutely love the new 2.0s. Smith did a wonderful job on these handguns. You know that I also put the Apex trigger in there, which makes the gun shoot even better, just because you're getting a little bit less movement and travel on your trigger. And you can see the take up is fairly short, and then it breaks really nice. And then, of course, you have that really short responsive reset. And that's it. And there's no mush. There's no movement. It just breaks cleanly. You know, this one came with the TFX night sights from TrueGlow, so you can see that right there. Very nice, very effective, good sight picture. And overall, you know, the finish of it is excellent. It shoots extremely flat. And it really is a comfortable handgun in the hand. You know, again, you've got a nice area for your support hand to get on there, and you can see that it just fits very naturally, no issues with that at all. So it is an extremely adjustable handgun no matter who's shooting it, whether you've got a big hand, a small hand, medium hand, you can feel really comfortable shooting this handgun. Now, on the other end, of course, I now have the Glock 19X. Magazine's empty. Guns are both empty, guys. And the 19X is also very comfortable in the hand, surprisingly so. As a matter of fact, if you notice, this little lip right here, very, very similar to the M&P 2.0. So when you come in with your support hand, you know, you get your grip on that support, and what happens is that little lip wraps around that finger. So it just feels extremely comfortable. It is extremely just really nice in the hand. And again, this is in that coyote tan color. I don't really know. I mean, the camera looks nice, but these are a little bit different shades. This one is more of a bronzy look, and even the grip seems a little bit more bronzy compared to, like, let's say the Smith FDE color. And of course, you see the two different colors here. This is more of well, I have to say this is a different FDE from that. This one almost looks almost like a grayish FDE in person. But I mean, other than that, both of the handguns are really nice guns. Now, if I was going to compare the two, which I'm trying to do right now, just on a simple tabletop, one of the things that I would say is that for this handgun feels a lot lighter in the hand. Now, I'm not going to go through all the weights and all the specs between each handgun. You guys can look that up on your own. But just feeling the two, and both magazines are empty, like I said, but just feeling the two in both hands, the Glock 19X, guys, definitely feels lighter. But that also, you have to remember, you're getting less metal because this is a longer slide. This is a shorter slide. This is the 19, so it's a 4-inch slide, whereas this is a 4.25 inch. So that extra weight difference could be good, could be bad, depends on how you want to shoot it. Now, one of the other things that I've noticed about the M&P, and again, I do absolutely love this gun, is that when I wrap my hands around here, I could put on a bigger backstrap if I choose to, but the thing I don't like about it is that this backstrap just doesn't come back far enough, in my opinion. I do like the original M&P that had the further, and I said backstrap, I meant to say beaver tail, but this M&P's beaver tail got sliced off when they redid the 2.0. And one of the things that I noticed is that if, let's say I put a bigger backstrap on here, my hand is going to fall a little bit further back underneath here. And I actually like sitting pretty far underneath the gun. So, you know, when I get my support in there, it feels good. It's very, very comfortable to shoot. But, you know, one of the things that I wish they would have kept is that beaver tail on the back, just to extend a little further back. But, you know, that's my own personal preference. On the Glock, one of the things that I would tell you is that even with this little backstrap here, because you see I put the beaver tail there, this is a medium size that comes with the large, obviously, but this is a medium. And one of the things that I do like is that even though your hand doesn't sit far but underneath the slide here, that beaver tail just really sits well in the hand, so it's going to be easier to control, I think, when I shoot it. At least that's what I'm thinking. Now, obviously, you can see there's a lot more room in there for my support, so as I go in and I wrap my support hand in there, I can actually grab a good hold on that handgun, and it feels extremely, extremely snug, extremely tight. And honestly, guys, I can't wait to shoot this because I think this is going to shoot just fantastically. Now, both guns did come with night sights. Obviously, you get the added benefit of having the TFXs on these, which are obviously the fiber optic plus the actual tritium vials, whereas on this one, it came with the standard Glock night sights, which I have to say glow extremely bright. I was looking at them last night, and they're just really nice looking night sights. You know, the sight picture is pretty good. You know, do I wish I had a very bright front? Yeah, but I don't, and I probably won't change these out for a while if I ever choose to do. Now, one of the things that you'll notice here that I did do with this gun already, which I did last night, was I already slapped on that Apex trigger. And, you know, again, it's not necessary. The trigger is fine on these Glock 19Xs. You know, I know a lot of people were saying that they're just, you know, they feel much better than the Gen 4s or whatever. I haven't really noticed that. As a matter of fact, the trigger on this one felt a little bit sloppy. What I mean by that is the take-up was, you know, it wasn't at a wall. In other words, it hit the wall, but then there was a little bit more movement on the trigger. With the Apex, it does shorten up that take-up even more. There's just a slight movement there, and then the gun breaks. Of course, you have your reset here. Typical, you know, and very nice positive reset, but it's very typical for these Apex triggers, and then it breaks again. So, I mean, the gun feels fantastic. Now, of course, with the Apex trigger, it's so easy to do, guys. You pop this one out, and you pop that out, and then basically you take out your trigger bar and everything else, and then you re-put in the new trigger bar from Apex with the new connector, and it just, you know, super easy to do. And I have to say, guys, this is so much easier to work on than any other handgun I own. Now, of course, again, haven't shot it, but I look forward to doing it. You know, obviously some of the features that are very similar to the Smith are obviously the ambi controls on both sides. Again, I would tell you that the Glock actually is a little bit easier to use than even the Smith & Wesson. The Smith & Wesson I found to be a little bit troublesome to get that slide release. Now, you'll see that I smashed my thumb here, so I'm not really able to use that thumb very well. But you'll notice that if I go to press down, it drops, but I have to apply quite a bit of force for it to drop. With the Glock, it seems a little bit easier to do. Again, it's a little bit more pronounced outside the side there, so you can see that it does protrude a little bit more than even on the Smith. But overall, it is very functional. It's very easy to use. All the control features on this and even the Smith & Wesson are excellent. So, I mean, to me, you couldn't go wrong with either one of these handguns. If you chose to go with a Glock 19X, you're definitely getting some benefits. You know, it's an easy gun to modify if you choose to do that. And again, it's a Glock, so you know it's going to function and you know it's going to work. Now, obviously, if we want to do a comparison on size, and this is where it's kind of interesting, obviously, the Smith & Wesson is going to be a little bit longer in the slide, guys, just because it is a longer slide gun. So it comes out another 1/4 inch, and I know it's kind of difficult to see, but that's about a 1/4 inch right there, and it is sitting back to back. Now, the height, which is interesting also, and I'll get these to sit side by side. If you look at the height, let's see, there we go. You'll notice that the Glock magazine just sits a little bit higher than the grip of the Smith & Wesson with a magazine in there. So, I mean, if you're really worried about concealability, if you can conceal this one, guys, you most certainly can conceal the Glock 19X. I've had several 17s before, and I've had no issues concealing those, so I would suspect the same. Again, if you're looking for the 19X, I think it's a worthy addition to the Glock lineup. I can't wait to shoot this thing because I'm super excited. The texturing feels really good. Obviously, with the M&P, you're getting that really sandpapery feel. This one feels more like, I think it's a little different than the Gen 4. This one almost feels more like a nicer version of the RTF grips, if you know what those feel like. The Gen 4s, I think, are not as pointy as these. They may be rounded off a little bit more, but this feels a little bit more abrasive than the Gen 4. Other than that, I mean, it feels really nice in the hand. I have to say, it really is a nice handgun. So obviously, you know, I do have the compact version of this, and again, the guns are safety checked and cleared. You know, if you wanted to compare the size difference between the compact and the 19X, obviously the grip size is going to be the huge difference. Remember, the 2.0 compact is really based on the size of a Glock 19, so you can see right there. While not a significant difference, it still is smaller to conceal a little bit easier. Again, you're getting about a 4-inch slide for the compact, so there really is no difference between length of slide between the two, and really the only difference is obviously going to be the grip length. But I mean, overall, I am absolutely stunned about how much I actually like this Glock 19X. I wanted to show you a quick comparison to another handgun that I think is fantastic as well. Again, both feel very natural in the hand. I would tell you that for me, the basic advantage is, in my opinion, going to go to the Glock, and not because it's ergonomically better necessarily, but just because of the extension of that beaver tail in the back. It just fits a lot nicer in my hand than even the M&P 2.0. Now, don't get me wrong, the 2.0 is very nice in the hand. However, I just think I'm preferring more of the Glock 19X. So again, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. If you have any experience with one of them or both of them, I'd love to hear what your comments are going to be, because I think it's going to be an interesting thing to state which one you like better. Now, if I had to choose between the two, again, it's very difficult for me to choose between any of the guns that I own. I like them for different reasons. The trigger on the M&P is a lot nicer, but again, this is all adjustable inside, so you can adjust the pull, the poundage, and all that other stuff. But this Apex trigger on here is fantastic as well. It does a great job. It gets rid of that safety, trigger safety on the Glock, so it's not digging in your trigger finger, and I actually like that. And that's one of the major reasons why I changed those triggers out. I think overall, if you were going to choose one or the other, I think it's going to be based upon what you prefer. If you're a Smith & Wesson guy, no doubt you're going to love the 2.0. If you're a Glock guy through and through, no doubt you're definitely going to love the 19X. I'm extremely surprised how much I like this gun, because initially, like I said, I wasn't really big on it. I didn't badmouth it per se, but I didn't really necessarily understand the point of it. Now that I own one, I don't even know if I now understand the point of it. I just like the fact that it is extremely comfortable in the hand, and that has a lot to do with the 17 grip, but I also think it has to do with the removal of those finger grooves. And I've always been pro finger grooves on the Glock, but what I did notice is when these were removed, the Glock actually feels a little bit rounder in the grip as opposed to blocky, which is a huge advantage in my opinion. So again, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Tell me what you think. Give us a thumbs up if you want to. If not, that's fine. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'd always love to hear what you guys have to say. Hope you have a great day. Stay safe. And as always, freedom is never free.